According to FoxSports.com draft expert Peter Schrager, more than a quarter of the 2016 NFL draft's first-round selections will come from the Big Ten. 5 of the top 18 in Schrager's latest mock draft are Ohio State Buckeyes, while 2 of his projected first-rounders played their college ball at Michigan State. Peter joins us now on the phone. Peter, according to your mock draft, most mock drafts, Joey Bosa, the first Big Ten player to be selected. You have him number 6 to Baltimore. We've all heard the comparisons to J.J. Watt. That's high praise. What do you think Bosa's true upside is?
Yeah, hey, look, Joey Bosa is a talented player. He can get to the quarterback. He can stop the run. I think it's a little different than Watt in that I think Bosa might be more capable of playing in a 4-3 or outside on a 3-4 if you need him, or even inside on a 3-4, taking on that defensive end thing. So there's some I guess the word is variety and some flexibility with Bosa, whereas Watt coming out of college, no one really knew how good he was going to be. I think we've seen the flashes from Bosa. I've got him 6 to Baltimore, but I've heard he can go as high as 3 to San Diego still. Teams are going to be interviewing him, meeting with him. There's some questions about his personality. They want to know if he is as committed to football as everyone wants a top 10 pick to be, but I don't think it's going to hold him back. Joey Bosa will be a top 10 pick April 28th.
Speaking of top 10 picks, I'm intrigued to see Ezekiel Elliott in your top 10. You have him right now number 8 to Philly. Why is he moving so rapidly up so many draft boards?
This kid had an awesome combine, and every workout he's had, people have been blown away. I was told by an NFL GM, a very successful NFL GM, that Ezekiel Elliott is the best blocking running back in protection that he's seen come out of the college game in 10 years. Then you add on the fact that he is a bulldozer of a running back and can do things in the receiving game as well. I think it's very rare to see a running back go in the top 10. And I think Todd Gurley showed that you can get one in the top 10 and he can be a success in year one. I think Ezekiel Elliott's the next one. I'd be very surprised if he fell below the Giants at 10. I think 8 to the Eagles makes sense. No more DeMarco Murray. They really need that bell cow. If he could go as high as 4 to the Dallas Cowboys if they fall in love with him, he is that good a player.
3 Big Ten offensive linemen in your first round. Michigan State's Jack Conklin, Ohio State's Taylor Decker, Indiana's Jason Spriggs. What makes these 3 guys potential first-rounders?
Yeah, I think it's a very good offensive tackle draft, and these 2 are pretty much 2, 3, 4 on my list. I mean, Laramie Tunsil's number 1. I'm told he's a once-in-a-generation guy out of Ole Miss. But then Conklin, Decker, they can go either or. I know some teams like Decker more than Conklin, others like Conklin more than Decker. And then Spriggs is the wild card. He had a great combine. He had a good pro day. He could go late first round, early second round based on team needs. But I think all 3 of those guys will be in the top 40 picks. And I think all 3 of those guys, whether at guard or tackle next season, can make an impact in year one.
2 Ohio State Buckeyes who absolutely crushed combine and workout days are in your top 20. They are defensive back Eli Apple and linebacker Darren Lee. Why do these guys project so well?
I've got Apple going as high as top 15. I've got him going 15th overall. The Rams. Hey, 6'1". He shut down some of the best receivers in college football. The knock on Eli Apple is that he didn't play great in the beginning of the season. He really stepped it up last year towards the end of the season. I think once you look at the tape, he's going to be all right there. The other one is Darren Lee, who is compared to Levante David of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, kind of a smaller linebacker that goes sideline to sideline. If you look at some of the moves around the NFL this offseason, Mark Barron being signed to a big deal as a linebacker, guys that aren't necessarily big 260-pound traditional linebackers are not the ones that people want. They want this 230, 240-pound linebacker. That's Darren Lee, runs a blazing fast 40. I would be very surprised if he doesn't get drafted in the top 15 picks.
Peter, you have Connor Cook going as the final pick in the first round. Why are you still buying Cook when many others are selling? And at this point in the first round, would he be considered a major gamble?
No, I don't think he's a gamble because unlike a Paxton Lynch or some of these other guys, he's actually played in big games and he's won big games. Look, 34 Big Ten victories. You guys have seen it for 3 seasons, him just doing what he did. One of the most decorated Big Ten quarterbacks in the last decade. And he had a bum shoulder at the end of the year when they lost to Alabama, so you can't hold that against him. I don't buy the whole issue with him not being a captain. He was a captain. He was a captain. He was one of 12 captains. And if his coach is the one to say that, hey, he's one of these guys that everyone rallies around, and if he went to the Combine, all his teammates, whether it be Burnbridge or whether it be Conklin, they all said this was our guy. He was a leader. Look, the only thing is is he worth a first-round pick? And I think if you look at some of these teams, Denver Broncos at 31, you might as well roll the dice because this guy can play right away, and he comes from a pro-style offense. I'm a Connor Cook fan. I know I might be an island on that one.
All right, finally, Peter, when all is said and done, at least 5, maybe 6 Ohio State players chosen in the first round. Where is this going to rank historically? Maybe not Alabama or LSU from a couple of years ago, but this is a monster draft class for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I think you got to go top 100 with them also because that's where you're going to see all these guys. I do think Braxton Miller goes in the first 2 days. I do think Michael Thomas is a late first, early second-round pick. Adolphus Washington, even Tyvis Powell. The list goes on. Cardell Jones might be a third-round pick. So you might see 10 to 12 players drafted in the first 75 picks out of Ohio State. And if that's the case, that's a monumental draft. That's one of the greatest hauls any college has ever had in an NFL draft. So it might not just be the first round. That might be owned by other programs through the years, the Miami Hurricanes in the early 2000s. But overall, the first 2 days, I think you're going to be seeing a lot of Ohio State Buckeyes taken. That'll be a proud moment for Urban Meyer in that program.
Awesome stuff on the upcoming NFL draft from Peter Schrager of Fox Sports. Peter, truly appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks so much. It was awesome.